Most people think wealth is built by knowing more. More charts, more trends, more predictions, more secrets. But that is not how wealth is usually built. That is how attention is captured. That is how fear is monetized. That is how impatience gets dressed up as intelligence. Wall Street does not always profit when you become calm. It profits when you become restless. When you check the market every hour, when you panic during red days, when you chase hot stocks, when you confuse motion with progress. Because a restless mind is easy to sell to. The Stoics understood something that modern finance still tries to hide beneath noise. Wealth is not first a money problem, it is a behavior problem. Before you can build a fortune, you must build a mind that can hold one. And that is where most people fail. Not because they are lazy, not because they are stupid, but because they are undisciplined in the one place that matters most: their desires, their impulses, their reactions. Epictetus said that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Read that again. Not few opportunities, not few ambitions, few wants. Because the person who always needs more is never rich, even when the numbers rise. And the person who can govern himself has already built the foundation that wealth requires. So what is the Stoic method for building wealth? It is not glamorous, which is exactly why it works. It is the method of self-command over self-indulgence, consistency over excitement, patience over prediction, and freedom over appearance. Let's break it down. The first principle is this: stop trying to get rich fast. Start trying to get rich without losing yourself. That sounds simple, but look at the world around you. Everything is designed to make you impatient. You are told that if you are not doubling your money, you are behind. If you are not buying the next thing, you are irrelevant. If your life does not look expensive, it must not be working. But the Stoics would ask a more dangerous question. According to whom? According to what? And at what cost? A person can make more money than ever before and still be enslaved by lifestyle, status, and anxiety. That is not wealth. That is a decorated prison. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, understood this well. He did not say money was evil. He said dependence was. That is the difference. The problem is not owning things. The problem is when things begin to own you. When your income rises and your peace disappears. When your image improves and your freedom shrinks. When every new dollar already has a job paying for a life you never truly needed. This is why the Stoic method begins with subtraction, not addition. Before you ask how to make more, ask how to need less. Because wealth is not just what comes in. It is what stays, what compounds, what remains untouched by ego. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while the bottom is full of holes. That is how most people build wealth. They earn more, then spend more, then justify more, then repeat. The Stoic does something different. He patches the holes first. He learns to separate utility from vanity, need from impulse, security from display. And suddenly, the same income begins to act differently, because discipline gives money direction. The second principle is this: focus on what you can control. Ignore what you cannot. This is the heart of Stoicism, and it may be the most powerful rule in investing. You cannot control the market. You cannot control interest rates. You cannot control economic cycles. You cannot control headlines, hype, crashes, bubbles, or whatever the experts are yelling about this week. But you can control your savings rate. You can control your spending habits. You can control your debt. You can control whether you invest regularly. You can control whether fear makes your decisions for you. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. In wealth building, that changes everything. Because most people waste years trying to predict the external. The Stoic trains himself to master the internal. He does not ask, what will the market do next? He asks, what will I do next, regardless of the market? That is a better question, a stronger question, a richer question. Because the person who invests only when he feels confident will rarely stay invested long enough to benefit. But the person who creates a system does not need motivation every month. He needs obedience. This is why the Stoic method favors boring actions, automatic investing, consistent saving, long time horizons, low ego, few interruptions. Not because boring is exciting, because boring compounds. A farmer does not dig up the seed every 3 days to see if it is working. He plants, he waters, he waits. But modern people treat wealth like a slot machine. Pull, hope, panic, repeat, then wonder why nothing stable grows. The third principle is this: build margin, because life will test you. Wall Street loves the fully exposed man, the man with no cash buffer, no emergency fund, no patience, no room to breathe. Why? Because urgency makes people easy to control. A person with margin can think clearly. A person without margin must react, and reaction is expensive. One bad month becomes debt. One setback becomes liquidation. One surprise becomes desperation. The Stoics prepared for difficulty before it arrived, not because they were pessimists, because they respected reality. Seneca practiced discomfort on purpose. He would wear rough clothing and eat simple food to remind himself that survival did not depend on luxury. That same principle applies to money. Can you live below your means? Can you tolerate simplicity? Can you delay gratification? Can you survive a season where life is unimpressive? If you can, you become dangerous in the best way. Because now you are hard to manipulate. You do not need every market upswing to survive. You do not need every paycheck to impress. You do not need every opportunity to work out immediately. You have margin. And margin is financial oxygen. The fourth principle is this: do not confuse looking wealthy with being wealthy. This mistake ruins more lives than bad investing ever will. The car gets upgraded, the apartment gets upgraded, the clothes get upgraded, the dining habits get upgraded. But the inner life does not, and neither does real freedom. A person can look rich and still be fragile. One missed income stream, one emergency, one downturn, one wrong move, and the whole performance collapses. The Stoics had little respect for performance. They cared about substance. A man is not stronger because his armor shines. He is stronger because he can endure the battle. The same is true with money. Real wealth is quiet. It does not scream from the driveway. It does not beg to be noticed. It does not need applause to feel real. It lives in ownership, in reserves, in patience, in options, in the ability to say no. That may be the clearest sign of wealth, not what you can buy, but what you can refuse. The fifth principle is this: make character your greatest asset. This is the part people overlook. They think wealth is only numbers. But numbers are often downstream from traits. Can you stay steady when others get euphoric? Can you remain rational when others are afraid? Can you keep showing up when results are invisible? Can you avoid envy when someone else gets lucky faster? That is character. And character is profitable. Not always immediately, but inevitably. Because markets reward discipline more often than brilliance. The person who can delay pleasure, avoid foolish risk, learn continuously, and keep his emotions from hijacking his decisions will often outperform the more talented person who cannot control himself. This is why the Stoic method is not passive. It is deeply active. You are actively mastering impulse, actively building skill, actively increasing earning power, actively protecting peace, actively choosing the long road when the short road looks louder. And yes, you should work to earn more. You should build valuable skills. You should become more useful. You should create, improve, negotiate, and grow. But more income without more discipline is like pouring water into open hands. It will not stay. The final principle is this: define wealth correctly. Because if you define it badly, you will spend your whole life chasing the wrong thing. Wealth is not just a number on a screen. It is not just net worth. It is not just assets. It is not just status. Wealth is the ability to remain steady in a world that profits from your instability. It is having enough distance from panic that you can think clearly, enough discipline that money does not leak through your habits, enough patience that time becomes your ally, enough self-respect that you stop buying things to prove you matter, and enough freedom that your choices begin to belong to you again. That is what Wall Street cannot easily sell, because it cannot package inner authority. It cannot market restraint as aggressively as excitement. It cannot make patience feel urgent. It cannot make quiet discipline look as glamorous as chaos. But the Stoics would smile at that, because truth rarely arrives dressed for attention. It arrives plain, almost unimpressive, like a man living below his means, like a woman investing every month without drama, like someone who says no to status games, like someone who keeps building in silence, like someone who understands that the greatest return is not just money, it is peace. So if you want the Stoic method for building wealth, here it is. Control your wants, master your reactions, spend less than you earn, invest consistently, build margin, ignore status, increase your value, stay patient, let time work, and never trade your inner stability for outer display. Because the real secret was never hidden. It was simply too disciplined for most people to follow, and that is why it still works. Not because it is clever, but because it is rare. And in a world addicted to noise, the calm person has an advantage. In a world addicted to speed, the patient person has an advantage. In a world addicted to appearances, the free person has an advantage. Build that person first, and wealth will stop being something you chase. It will become something you are finally able to keep.